When speaking of the final three episodes of this season, which has been a total train wreck, you get the episodes Triple Trouble, Double Trouble, and Final Round. Triple Trouble is the most shit of these last three. Oh boy. This entire season has been nothing. And I mean nothing but an agonizing, headache inducing train wreck. It is a writing disaster. Character assassinations, toxic decision making from the writers for the sake of a joke, bad continuity connections, a useless main plot conceit. Everything has been horrible. And yes, if this is coming off as I am thankful that I finally have only 3 episodes of this trash left to review before we get to the good shit, the filet mignon at the bottom, yeah, I am. I am so looking forward to season 4 for so many different reasons. And Triple Trouble is one of the reasons I want to hit the eject button. So, what's the gimmick here? What's the train wreck that they've got us sent on this time? Well, this season has been let's beat up on the Vegeta looking kid. 6 of the 13 episodes of this season has been something either horrible happening to or as a result of odd, being stupid, or just having bad luck. It's like the writers have it out for Della Robbia or something. More so than they've had it out even for Elizabeth at sometimes gone by. And by the way, if you found Elizabeth Domas this season, please tell me she's on a milk carton. But as for Triple Trouble, what's the gimmick? Well, it's the trouble with clones. No, literally, it's a clone episode 3, in fact. And yet you can add yet another marker against Jeremy Belqua, yet another computerized crime to his list of reasons you don't give an uneducated kid a quantum computer. This time, he decides to give Odd a special power, which, thumbs up. At least he's looking out for a dude. Force Orika's triplicate. Yumi can move things with her mind. Aelita's got the most useful powers, period, out of anybody in matterization. And well, what does Odd got? Well, he even brings up, he used to have this thing called Future Flash. Remember that thing? That thing that was only used 3 times in all of season 1? Well, when he rebuilt the virtual forms, that was taken out. Why? Because he saw it as useless. Well, God, if they would have had Future Flash at certain times this season, maybe a couple more of the sectors would be around. Let alone the entirety of the season 2 trap at the end could have been foresaw. You know, something like that. But, seeing that the power is gone, we can't cry over spilt milk now, can we? As a reviewer, certainly I can, but I can see why the Jeremy would call it useless. It only pops up at certain times. Odd doesn't have control over it. And it would be more of a group-wide power over their dreams at night. That would be a better execution of that power, by the way. But I can see why. Well, Jeremy wants to be a bro and correct the situation. Also, with a good power, actually, teleportation. It actually works like Goku's instant transmission, actually. There's not much to say. Envision where you want to teleport, say the word teleportation, poof, and it works. Now, of course, Aelita's there to oversee the experiment to see if it's a success. But just like every Jeremy experiment that Aelita is somehow forced to watch, it goes about as well as you would think. Yes, when teleportation works, he does end up in multiple places at once. Just one small problem. It creates three of them. Now, I have this theory of how this could have occurred. So, allow me to pose a theory. A Lyoko theory, as one would say. I think when Jeremy was proposing the teleportation power in Triple Trouble, that he used the base code, or at least a solid piece of the base code that makes up Oryx Triple K, to create the multiple sections of multiple odds, or the fact that two could easily become one at the spot of teleportation. Because the supercomputer doesn't know which executable to run when, and because the codes conflict, instead of the computer separating the two code matrices and executing it as one, which is the intent, it executed both the triple K code matrix and the teleportation code matrix at the same time. Thus, the result. But that's just a theory. But what you get is the horrible situation that is before us. Now, there will be, as soon as it comes back to Earth, three odds. Yes, if one odd running around causing random chaos to happen isn't bad enough, imagine three. And imagine those three with the same brain power and mindset and thought. A 100% perfectly duplicated clone. Trust me, I'd be on the rocket to the next nearest planet if that happened. I watched too many Pinkie Pies. I know how bad this gets. And trust me, it gets naturally bad. As the odds try to cover for one another, end up getting odd in trouble with a street vendor, getting in trouble at school with their teachers, creating confusion, and genuinely, being odd. As Jeremy tries to fix the problem naturally, he's come up with a solution, but he needs to do it fast. Because if the three aren't united into one, then odd will be deleted off of the course of the earth and won't exist anymore. This isn't the first time this happened. This is actually the third time a situation of a person being disintegrated into nothingness. No, scratch that. This is the fourth time this happened. And this might be the silliest version of the four yet. But what does Xana say to this? Well, Xana says, I'm gonna get my Medusa on. Yup, Uh, Stoning Smoke. It's 420, everybody. Only he's not playing Snoop Dogg. It's Medusa. And he's gonna stone everyone using a smoke like fog. Like Holiday in the Fog. There are many references to other much better episodes in season 3, but this might be the most well executed one. The whole rest of the plot wasn't so god-forsaken stupid, this episode might actually be good. So it's up to the other two odds to save the last odd who gets caught in the petrification, which they do using creative tactics. And also other references to other episodes like the wrench in the soccer building and such. Plus, on top of that, we can see that Aelita can keep up with Yumi while running, and Auric, she's actually quite athletic for her small size, but that's a plus side. Off to Lyoko they go. Tower gets deactivated naturally, and the odds are reunited, just in time for Xana to make another attempt at the core zone, in which Odd pulls an Elden Ring and decides to solo once he's reunited proper. Finally, there's just one of them, but he still has to pay the karmistic problem of what the other two did. Well, he would have, if not for a return to the past to scratch the whole thing out of existence. This episode is terrible. This whole season is terrible. And what they have done to Odd this season specifically is the worst. They've taken this guy to the torture dungeon too many times. It's not even funny anymore. The first couple of times, it was slightly amusing. But at this point, it's overdid and gone. This whole season's just been a wreck. This is obviously another 1 out of 6. This episode is fucking terrible. Hopefully, the last 2 episodes will give me something positive to say about this season. Nope. Wrong again. I forget. They're about to make the stupid William decision. God, if only I could have wiped this season from my memory, but then again, I'd be a Lyoko warrior, so despite going back in time, I would still remember that I reviewed this horrible season. But hey, there's only 2 episodes to go, and then I get my sweet release of actually watching Code Lyoko at its best, not its absolute worst. But join me next week, will you, for Double Trouble. Find peace in your own nirvana, and thank God Season 4 starts WrestleMania week, or I'd be going insane.